Everybody, and welcome back on the Mindful Pathways for a new video. Here is Frank, and today I want to talk to you about a special moment of my life when I decided after university to travel. Where all my friends were deciding to go for a job and settling down and buying a house, I decided to take the risk of actually buying a plane ticket and following my dream of traveling. My fear was that maybe I would fail my life by traveling. I will never find a good job then, and I will not one day be able to have a family, and I'll basically sacrifice everything for traveling. But that is not what happened. So I want to explain to you every single thing of those past 7 years that I've been traveling across the world, and everything that happened, and where I am right now, and how is my life going after 7 years of traveling. Like this you can choose. I don't know if you're gonna have the same experience as me, but at least I give you my experience. So see, I grew up in a standard family. We were 3 children. We were my parents were both working in factories. We had money only for normal living. I don't really have to say not rich, not poor. I would say I was a standard person. And I would say I grew up normally with kind of the same cliche that everyone has with society. You need to get married, you need to have a good job, you need to follow that path, So when I went to school, to secondary school, to high school, I always tried the standard project, always been average, in my high school, maybe in France, we get rate 0 to 20. I was getting an average of 13 out of 20 points, which means I was maybe on 20 students, I was maybe number 8, very standard, nothing crazy. But what happened and what my life started to set apart from, we'll say, the standard amount of people living their life is that when I got 16, I got deeply uncomfortable in my own skin, and I got a bit depressed, to be honest. Not a huge depression, but let's say I had no satisfaction in life. I felt I was lost, and I felt I don't know, life had no sense to me. I was enjoying meeting my friends, seeing my family, but I don't know, I didn't have this curiosity in life, this flavor that I used to have when I was a child, because when I was a child I had a lot of dreams. I wanted to explore, I wanted to learn so much. And yeah, when I got 16, for some reason I felt maybe dreams are just an illusion, and that basically I need to be realistic. And as soon as I started to have this kind of thoughts, that's when I got depressed. That's when I started to have my lights getting down. And what happened is I went to university, and the first good thing I've done is first trusting one of my first dreams, which is working in the cinema industry. So I said I will do some study in cinema, despite the fact that people say, it's very hard to get a job in cinema, it's crowded, a lot of competition. And yeah, but that was before, let's say, YouTube and making video content online. So I think I actually did a good choice, because after, with all the content, video content that internet needed, I didn't really have difficulties to find a job as a videographer. So for my own in my own field, when I was studying at university, I could find easily being an intern. And then I will tell you what happened when I traveled, but I found a job as a videographer. So basically I finished my study at 21, and at 21 I was okay, what do I do now? And I was very sick of just following the path of going to university and studying the night and going for a right job. I didn't want that. I always been all my life a dreamer, and I always wanted to actually do things that really excites me. And traveling was really something that always excited me. Not just because of Instagram posts of other travelers, but more of my age was documentaries on TV and National Geographic books and all of that made me I want to see all the animals, I want to meet different cultures, I want to see how people live their life, the part of the world. So I remember asking my mom, what should I do? What should I do? Should I travel, or should I find a job in France? Because at the end of my study, I was in Paris, and as I did a videography for the government. I could find easily, I think, a job. But my mom told me like, hey, listen, you have no attach right now. Like traveling is the best bet you have. Despite the fact that I have like at the time 1,600 euros on my bank account, which is not crazy. You know, you travel with that, like half you already spend in your plane ticket, and after you have a few weeks to decide what you do while you're away. But my goal was like, okay, well, I will travel. My goal is to explore, and I will find a visa that allow me to work in the country and just travel like that. So for French people, it's easy to get a visa to work in New Zealand, which is on the other side of the planet for us. So I decided to go there, and that's when something happened. Like that's when you feel a bit like you're getting outside of the matrix. What I mean by that is when you are living in your own country all your life and you are listening to people around you, you feel that life has to happen a certain way. If you're not living life a certain way, then you will fail or you will become miserable, or you have a lot of belief. And when you start traveling, you understand that most of what people believe are actually illusion. Like they are really a lie. Like when you travel, it doesn't mean that because you travel, like, oh, you will fail, you will go back to your home country 2 weeks later completely broke. And, of course, this can happen. It depends how you manage your trip. But if you're a minimum intelligent, I think you can easily find a way to get a job if it's a country that allow you to work. Like me, in 2 weeks, I found a job in hospitality. And I'm not gonna lie, of course, like every job, they ask you for qualification. And of course, like a lot of people, I lied about my qualification. That's how I found my first job. And before getting my first job, I got rejected by 5 trial job in a restaurant because people are not dumb. They see that I was not a chef. But anyway, at some point I succeed because, I was persisting every day, showing up, trying to get a job. And I got a job as a dishwasher in a bakery, very standard job, don't need qualification, and that allowed me to survive for a couple of months in New Zealand. Following that travel in New Zealand, I started to have like a feeling of, all right, it's good, but I'm not saving money. Like really, when you get like a really standard job, very poor qualified job, you get just the money to, basically you pay your rent, you buy your food, and if you're lucky, you can get 1 or 2 activities during the week, but you don't really save money. So I was like, okay, it's good, but I didn't travel really to just like stay in a country working and just do this. I want to explore. So I remember at 21 thinking, okay, I need to find a way that I don't spend money, but travel. And I was very brave at the time. I decided to just hitchhike on the roads and do some what people call woofing, or me it was called helpix, which is basically going in farms or going in people's house and helping them, working for them for 4 hours a day, and you get food and accommodation. And basically I found a way like that I will not spend my money hitchhiking, so I don't spend money on transport, and helpix will allow me to basically get food and accommodation without spending money, just like helping people 4 hours a day. And I found a sweet spot where I did this for 5 months, easily found people to stay at their place and traveling across the country. And that made me grow so much. Made me grow and understood that actually traveling is not that hard. Like we have a fear in our mind. We are scared of, but if I travel and I get lost and I don't understand the language, or I get killed, or I get whatever, all those scared, I'm not saying that you should not have them, but yes, of course, like everything on life, everything can happen, but the actual probability that it happens is very low and will really depend of your way of being, your self-belief, how you feel inside yourself, and how you interact with others. I don't think I'm that smart to compare to other people. I interact friendly, respectfully with people. I have my boundaries, but I just try to go easy, take it easy, slowly, being gentle with myself and being kind with others. And in 99.9% of the time, I always get to meet people, even strangers, that are kind and are good-minded people, not people that try to abuse of me in any kind of way. So after New Zealand and living without really a lot of money, maybe from 1,600, I was at maybe 3,000-4,000 euros after 1 year living in New Zealand. So crazy. But, you know, I proved myself that I didn't really needed so much money to travel. I grew confident that, okay, now I want to settle down. Now I've got this experience of traveling. I want to actually settle in another country and work more. But that time, as a qualified videographer, because that was my job, and I understood at the time that, okay, if I want to make money, actually I need to work in my specific field, because people paid for qualification. They don't pay you well if what you are capable of doing, like everyone can do it. So I went to Australia, and at the beginning, I opened my business as a videographer, but I was so terrible with business. I was getting myself like, okay, I will sell myself like my job for 20 euros an hour, which already at the time was not a lot, you know, and I couldn't have a profitable business with that. But at least I had experience, and I got like a little portfolio. And I got people like buying my service as a videographer. I had like 3 or 4 clients in 3-4 months, which was great. And it allowed me to understand how to communicate with clients, how to create invoice, and how actually to give them to the client what they need, you know. And on the side, I was working in a bar, once again, as a dishwasher, because I think you repeat always the same things that you know. And that was just a way to, you know, try to make my business happening, having on the side already like money for rent and food. And then I kept staying in Australia for 2 other years, thanks to visa, same working holiday visa. So I'm not gonna explain long time how you stay in a country with a visa, but some countries they ask you to work in a farm for 6 months in order to be able to stay another year. Some other countries different, but Australia was that. So I worked in a farm for 4 months. And I always been able to save a little bit. In Australia, it's a bit easier to save, you know? And as I was keep traveling, gaining experience, meeting new people, I learned so much, you know, about the world, about myself, and I felt more comfortable as well living in the now, living from hotel to hotel, from place to place. And deeply inside, I understood that material things will not make me that happy. That's not the aim to be happy in life. It's more about growing, doing what you love to do, and, you know, just pursuing your dreams. So I felt happy all of that time, you know. And basically, I finally, after like my 3rd year of traveling, so 1 year in New Zealand, 2 years in Australia, decided to find a job in videography. It took me only 3 weeks to find a job in Sydney. And I worked for them for 4 years as a videographer, in-house videographer, which was amazing. Following that, I asked my boss at the time if I could work remotely, which he accepted. And I went back to France with this remote job that allowed me to basically be a digital nomad, just like that. Like, just by asking like my previous job after 4 years working in-house, if I can work remotely, they said yes, working with social media. And that allowed me to live one of my first dreams, which is buying a van, because now I was making enough money to save. With that saving, I bought a van. And with that van, I traveled across Spain and Portugal. And not only that, but after I had enough saving to travel across Southeast Asia. So basically, I never stopped traveling and I never settled down. As soon as I went back to Europe, I kept traveling. And as soon as I kept traveling, I went to Southeast Asia after these things. And now it's been 7 years that I'm traveling crazy. And for nothing, and I want to tell you, for nothing else, I would have changed my decision. I regret anything. I'm not saying that people that don't decide to travel miss out on something, but I want to reassure people that actually want to travel that it's actually gonna have a big plus in your life, no matter what you think. And that, yeah, you will really enrich your life if it's really what you want and you have the same as me taste for traveling and experiencing the world, you know, and being curious. Just give it a shot. Some people I know, they travel for 2 months, some for 6 months, some for a year. And a few, like me, decide to travel for 7 years onward. But look, I got my dream job. I've been meeting incredible people. Now I speak 2 languages. Soon I'm gonna speak 3 because right now I'm in Saudi Arabia learning Arabic. And that's fascinating. that's fascinating how traveling open new doors of gaining not only experiences inside the job that you want, but being a foreigner in a foreign country, sometimes they are more attracted by you as an employee because you can bring something fresh and new to the company. But as well as a traveler, you meet like people from Russia, America, Japan, Korea, Africa, from everywhere in the world. And that is so valuable because everyone share their insights on life, their own personality. I met thousands of people. And once again, 99% of people I met were so kind, especially travelers, always open-minded. And yeah, I feel like what I really learned about 7 years of traveling is that in life, first of all, fear are an illusion. Don't believe your fear. Give yourself permission to at least try for, I don't know, 3 months, 6 months. Pursue your dreams and see what happens. And second of all, it's impossible that you will get nothing out of pursuing your dreams. Like me, I've got now 4 years experience as a videographer while traveling, living in Australia, living in New Zealand. I visited 22 countries. I met people from, I don't know, maybe 30 to 40 different countries. And nowadays, I'm starting building my own business, getting money remotely and like fulfilling my dream of being stable while being a business owner. And I think all of that is only able because I gave myself permission to follow my dreams. So if you want me to help you with that, with pursuing your dreams, don't hesitate to click the link in the description on my Instagram and I'm happy to help you. Answer my message. And yes, and I can even give you 1 hour of free live coaching. If I've got time, I'm happy to give you this and see together how you can maybe achieve your dreams. That was Frank for Mindful Pathways. I wish you a beautiful day and I wish you to succeed in your dream. Bye bye.